On your mark, get set, go.
Oh, spoken like a true professional. Hello, everyone, or one, or nobody, whoever's watching this thing. It's funny how everybody has a television studio in their pocket now. Anyway, we're gonna do a tomato sauce. Now, I've been, it's my sweetheart has been requesting for months that I do this. And I always put it off, not telling her why. And the reason why is because I know that everybody, especially every Italian I know, thinks that their mother or grandmother or great-grandmother had the best tomato sauce ever. And so I was sure that if I did this, I would invite a bunch of criticism. And someone asked me this interesting question, like, why would I care? It never occurred to me to think about it that way. Yeah, so if you have criticism, by all means, like I'm going to stop you. The other thing is I've always wanted to be a bridge in my life. I've always admired people in history that were able to bring people with completely disparate views together to the same table, maybe not walking away with everything they wanted, but at least not imposing harm on themselves or the people that they were leading. But I'm having a really hard time doing that these days. No matter how much I try, I always find myself getting upset and feeling like I can't do it. I'm not up to the task. But I discovered a vehicle that may be able to do that, and that is food, right? So, like this spaghetti sauce, it's really spaghetti sauce. Who can dislike spaghetti sauce? So whether you're an individual that believes we're being controlled by a cabal of lizard people from Los Angeles, or whether you are someone who thinks there should be no laws at all, you can't argue about the food, right? The other thing that I find interesting that throughout history, people have gone on hunger strikes for various causes in prisons. And the usual way the prison administration would deal with it would be to force feed people. See, I would handle it in a totally different way. See, if I was running a prison and people went on a hunger strike, no problem. What I would do on each floor would install a stove and an oven. What I would do is bake bread and start sauteing garlic and olive oil and onions, right? And start cooking stuff and just cook it and leave it at the door of the cell. They're gonna eat it. Anyway, so what you do here, first of all, to segue, to start, these are tomatoes from our garden and they're kind of small. It's our first batch. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or not. I know that from experience that life wants to happen. Like I grew up in New York and stuff would grow out of the cracks of sidewalks. So life just wants to happen. And sometimes if I'm giving something a lot of attention, it doesn't grow the way I would like it to. And sometimes something I wasn't paying much attention to flourishes. So when I figure it out, I'll send you the memo. So what we do here, so first we want to blanch these tomatoes, and what you do is you take a knife and you score the tomato like that, and then like across like that, like as if you were making in quarters, right? Which I did all of these already.
Here, sorry, it's hot.
Good. Unlike a lot of the media, we include our mistakes. Okay, so these tomatoes, I already cut these. So what you do is, it's really simple. We don't want you to hurt yourself, so let's do it this way. You put them in there, really for a minute. That's it. It's not a big, lengthy process. You put them in there.
And give it a minute. And then what you do is take them out. Take them out. And be careful, because you're dealing with sharp objects and hot water. So be mindful. It's an opportunity to be pensive. What are you doing? Really focused. Pensive and focused. Pensively focused. Then you run these under cold water. So they're hot to the touch, so they're kind of hard to handle. Just run them under cold water for a minute. Alright. Okay, and then
Really, really simple, really easy. See, it just slides right off.
So should we come back?
And we'll be back. We're going to do this in segments. So so we don't bore you. By now, everybody's on their phone anyway, so checking their email and Facebook. All right, you guys, see you in a few minutes. The great thing about spaghetti sauce is that you have a lot of latitude. There's no, there are specific recipes, but you can also do it to your own taste. So, for example, I never figured out how to make small portions of anything. I think one of the saddest testaments to our, examples of our life is a can of soup for one. Like, really? Anyway, I never figured out how to make things in small portions. So we're going to give you, my way of doing it, but definitely expand or contract the way you like. So I chopped an onion, whole onion. One of the things I don't like people usually watching me because they say, "Did you put that much in there?" But they always like it. But I just don't like, just don't like that part where they say, "What are you doing?" Anyway, so first I heated up some olive oil and put the onion in there. Now, you always let the onion cook a little first before the garlic because the garlic cooks much faster. Also, for you meat eaters, this would be around, just shortly after this is when you put, like in that scene in The Godfather. This is where you put your pork, your sausages. What? What's the face?
The pan is so hot.
Just
You need
relax.
To... Okay.
It is hot. Yeah, it'll cool down. Jeez. Take it easy. Hey.
Okay, I'm sorry. What were you saying about The Godfather?
You don't look sorry. And you don't sound sorry. All right, so while the onions are cooking, this is basil from the garden. And so when you cut, if you're going to cut the basil, look for the nascent leaves, little leaves, right? And you cut, this is Italian bonsai. Actually, bonsai sounds like an Italian word. And you cut above it, and then, so that these can grow. So you see what I mean? Like, you see those little leaves right there? Right, so you cut above that.
Leave those little guys alone. This one looks like a nice one. Let's see, this one. You get the idea. So, there. And right here. Here.
What?
Well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna grab a spoon. And
Yeah, before the house burns down.
oh, it's not so bad.
Before 9/11 happened.
It just sounded really bad. It's a little brown now. Okay.
Okay, so now, so we separated from the stalk.
I was told that it gets woody. You don't want that. You just take the leaves off the stalk. Oh my god, the onions are cooking. So we do that. Okay, then we chop up these guys. You might use a little more. Now,
The potatoes, the tomatoes, gosh, the tomatoes that we peeled here. Now, one of the things I love about old style cooking is the tactile nature of it. There's something about getting your hands into it. And you just squeeze it there. Now you could use
food processor, absolutely. There's another thing I forgot what it's called. I don't even remember what it's called in Italian, but sort of like a pot with a strainer on it and handle with a propeller. And it's a food mill. Is that what it's called in English? Yeah, well, what is that? Yeah, what do you think about the French accent? Anyway, so what I like about this is that you still have just kind of chunky. You still have there's still a chunky, so I don't like a runny sauce. Who likes a runny sauce? I don't.
Yes. Go.
So the onions have been sauteing, and we have everything ready. So now it's time to put the garlic in. Okay, this is a mere 10 cloves of garlic, approximately. I lost count. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Doesn't that sound? You should be in the house. You have no idea of how this smells.
It smells like garlic and onions.
Oh man. So then I like to put the spices in while everything's sauteing. Turn it Down? Is that what you're saying? Turn it down?
Yes.
Okay.
Garlic.
I was going to turn it down eventually. There's a reason it's up, but okay, here we go. Okay, so now I like to put in my spices. Now, this is a blend of oregano, thyme. What else was it? Oregano, thyme.
It's just an Italian blend.
It's like an Italian blend. You get it at Trader Joe's, but it's an Italian blend. Makes it real simple. A little salt. Well, salt we're going later. Put the basil in now. Stir that bad boy up. And now, put in the tomatoes. Oh. Stir that up. Now, you do have to keep the flame low because otherwise you'll burn, and I've done it, you burn the bottom and it just ruins it. The colors are beautiful, the green of the basil and the red of the tomatoes. It's just really, it's just lusty. What I like to do, and this is what my mother used to do, she used to use peas, and I love it because what it does is it sweetens the sauce. Now, some people, if you don't like peas, you can actually grate carrots, and of course sugar. I mean, just some people have an aversion. We try to use sugar, but
we try not to use
we try not. What did I say?
We try to use sugar.
Yeah, right. Well, we do try and succeed eating sugar. But anyway, so if you want to avoid using sugar in the sauce to cut the acid in the tomatoes, you can use either grated carrots or peas, or or just use a little sugar. It's okay. So, and then add some salt. And again, you do this to taste, really. Unless you're following a specific recipe, you do it to taste. We never had any measuring cups in the house. It was before Pyrex was invented. So everything was done by hand. There was a scoop of this or a scoop of that. So you stir it and let it cook for a while. We'll post everything online, all the ingredients and stuff, and we'll see you when it's done. Hello everyone, and the sauce is done, and it's also a very versatile thing, right? So you can have spaghetti, of course, or zucchini noodles, which you've seen in the previous video. But a friend of mine came to visit recently. She has a farm in New Mexico, and she brought us a really just enormous amount of, actually it was a tub the size of like, an elephant trough of squash. And I mean, they almost look obscene, but these are squash. This is a zucchini, if you can believe it. Maybe she lives near the nuclear testing ground or something. But we tried to figure out what to do with this stuff, and so we decided to make a zucchini lasagna, which actually Jill made. And we'll show you the steps. We'll go through it quickly, and we'll show you what it's like.
So we did get a lot of squash, and I chose the yellow and the green zucchini, cut at 1/4-inch slices, and basted with olive oil, put them on baking sheets and baked them in the oven. I also mixed up some quinoa and polenta together and spread it out the bottom of a casserole dish. And I spread it as thin as I could, and which was still quite thick, about I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, and refrigerated it. And once it was a little more firm, I started adding the layers of Frankie's fabulous sauce, and I alternated the yellow and the green squash, and it looked like this. I thought it was pretty, and then added some vegan mozzarella and some more sauce, more zucchini on top of that, and we added mushrooms and more mozzarella and more sauce, and it looked like this.
So what we have here are the fruits of our labor, the fruits and vegetables of our labor. As you can see, these are layered zucchini, and this is vegan mozzarella cheese, which again, I'm surprised that it's pretty darn good. It's not real mozzarella, but it's close enough. They're getting really, really good at it. So let's try this, shall we? see? Oh my God. Wow. What? I haven't figured out your hand signals. What are you trying to tell me?
Wrap it up.
Well, thank you for joining us. You're really going to enjoy this. Really, take the time to make this. This is so incredibly delicious. Thank you, Jill. Arrivederci.